see that red light in the background, that bit there? Well, actually, it's one of these. And this has got a long name. I've got to look it up because it's so long. It's a Falcon Eyes Irisa 1 LED video light. Lighting up your video can be quite tricky because you need a main light, a fill-in light, a backlight, a hair light, a this light, a that light, any light, this light. As long as it's soft, it's going to be nice. That's what you need, a nice soft light. So for me at the moment, what I'm using is a main light up here, which is also helped by a window which is still open. So that's letting in a little bit of daylight. I've got a fill-in light on this side, and that light's hitting the ceiling and bouncing off the ceiling and hopefully filling me in nicely. I've got a light over here at the back, which is lighting the wall at the back so I don't look dull. It doesn't look all that nasty and dull behind me. And just to fill in the double chins, I've got a little fill-in light just down below here, which is filling in the chins. Haven't got a hair light, that's my natural hair. So what you really need to get good lighting is something that's soft, and sometimes to make it softer, we need this fill-in lighting. One thing you have to watch out for though when you're using two lights is you have your main light, you have your second light, and you can get a double shadow. So you can get a nose with two shadows, and that can look a little bit strange sometimes. And also if you've got harsh light, to be frank, if you're my age, it's going to show every wrinkle on your face. So you don't really want too harsh lighting, especially when you're my age. This is a Falcon Eyes light, and actually on the front of it here, it's a tube light, and on the front of it, it's got a diffuser. So the light that comes from this is particularly soft. It's rather nice. Always gives the impression that it's not as bright as other lights, but actually it's duller because it has the diffusion actually built in. Its color temperature goes from 2500 to 9999. That's bluer than daylight. So I look ghostly. It has a CRI value of 96%, which is pretty good. It's got two magnets on the back, so it'll stick to anything that's metallic. It's also got screw threads at the bottom and at the top, so you can put it on a tripod if you want. And it's also got these connectors. These are miniature XLR connectors. So what you can do is you can connect this light to another light to another light, and each one will control the next, so you can build a nice big system with it. So as you can see, I've got this pretty close to my face and it's not blowing me out at all. That's because I've got it set to, let's see, it's about 18%. So you can set it nicely low, and that's actually quite nice because if you just set it outside the picture area, you've got a lovely fill-in light, there you are, and it's not really using an awful lot of power because it's on such a low percentage. I can of course up the percentage. What I've done is I've matched the colour of this light to the lights I'm actually using, so it doesn't change the colour of my face. But if I turn it up, it does actually go pretty bright, and now it's blowing everything out. So again, I can take it away just out of shot, and now it's almost, well, it's become my main light. So it's pretty bright if you need it to be. In spite of it still having that diffusion, you see you can't see the face blowing away because of that diffusion on the front. So it's really quite a nice light to use. Also, if you want to, you can change the color temperature of this light so you can give yourself a little bit of a tan just by lowering the value of the color of the light. So now, just by lowering it slightly, I've given myself a bit more of a tan. So you can kind of control your skin tones with it with careful use of your monitor. In common with the other Falcon Eyes lights, it's got these scenery modes where you can sort of depict scenes. So for instance, there's a bit of lightning. That's a bit scary. A bit more lightning. Different flash. I don't know what these all are. There's all sorts of scenery things that you can set up just by press of a button. They can be quite handy to give you sort of lighting effects. I think there are 20 of these, and they go on and on with different sorts of things going on. And you can just sort of whack through them. I don't know what that one is. Quite nifty. You can see it's changing colours as well. Try another one. Oh, there you are. Got a red flash there. I don't know how that's coming out on my film because I can see it as white on the film, but it's actually red on my face. Red and blue. So the police. Yeah, if it shines on my face, you can see the colour. A bit of a blue going on there. So you can see that it's actually an LED light that you can get any colour you like. You can choose the colour you want. These are the scenery things and like flickering things and just to set up sort of scenes, that's all. 20 of these on here. I haven't got much use for these things myself, but if you're telling a story or doing a film, I suppose you could use these things. It's quite a novelty. Of course, if you want to, you can mess around with the hues and it changes colour that way, and the intensity and the saturation, so it's changing colour. And you can play around with the RGB colours as well. Get away from me, it's gone to a blue. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, it's gone to a blue colour. I can change it over by going to another colour and messing around with that. I mean, there's loads and loads of things you can switch around and use here with this thing just to change its colour and its hue. You basically got a little panel on here. If I turn this off, oh, you need it on, sorry. There's a little panel here which tells you everything that's going on, a little LCD panel, which is quite nice. The controls are all here. That's the on-off. That's the selector switch for what lighting pattern, and that's to change the which thing you want to change. That's down and that's up to change the numbers. So you can change this manually, or you can connect it to your phone or to an iPad or something and work this thing automatically via Bluetooth. I've got to say though, I did get the Bluetooth app working, but I did find it a bit flaky. Sometimes it was connecting, sometimes it wasn't. So I tend not to do that. I tend to just use this thing manually. I find that the Bluetooth app isn't great, to be honest. It's also got some other presets, some gel presets, so different colours come out of it by on a touch of a button. The only thing about this is I'm not quite sure what these colours, what's going to come out. You just sort of flick through them. You need to check, you know, take the one you want, I suppose. That's the only thing. On the app, actually, it does tell you what the filter values are, but you can't see that on here. It gives you a number, 603, and it says L-Gel 603. I'm not quite sure what they actually mean, but you get basically different colours on presets. For me, I just love dialing in the colour temperature that I want and just using it as a fill-in light, or as I was doing earlier, using it for a coloured light to get some fancy effect. So it's a rather nice thing, and being an upright tube, and you can put it on a tripod, it means you can really get it out of the way, which is fantastic. And not only that, you can just hold it if you want to out of shot. So I can light up my chins just like that. And then by getting the switches, here they are. I'm having to do it upside down, which is a bit difficult. I can get my button and I can look in the screen and say, okay, how much do I actually want? And just watch it going up. So this is a really useful light. It's got built-in softness, which is a real bonus. Very often with these portable lights, you have to put something externally on the front of these things, and they're often just like a little bit of rubber or something, whereas this one is built in. You get a lovely soft light. It can actually go fairly bright. I wouldn't say it's like a spotlight or anything like that. It's nothing like a spotlight. Actually, I was filling in my face there with a colour temperature that was far too high, and I probably went a little bit too... just a tad too blue. So look, I'll just show you again. There we are. And then going up, there I see it becomes really blurry. It's quite strong. So if I want to fill in my chin, for instance, for that, it's too strong. So take it down and you can watch it on the screen and it's off. It goes really fast. And that's another thing. You can actually move these figures really fast. That's at 100%. So if I now turn it off, watch this. By going down, I'm going to go down through the percentages and it's off. It's that fast. It's a really useful thing. As I say, you can just place it out of scene just there, get it on your face and it doesn't blow your face out. You get a nice amount of light and it looks pleasant on film. And that's the thing I like about this actually. The app I don't like. I think the app it needs to be looked at and altered. But this light itself, it's got these physical switches. You can get any colour you like. You can match the daylight colour you want, but the nice thing is you can basically just hold this thing or put it on a stand just out of shot there and just turn it on at really low values and get this lovely fill-in light that you don't get from many portable lights because they don't have this built-in diffuser. And it gives the impression it's not as bright as it is because of the diffuser, but that diffuser does give a nice quality of light. And I think that's the big selling point of this Falcon Eyes Irisa 1 light. It's actually got a very nice quality to the light and you can control it beautifully. So they're not that cheap, but they are actually very nice. Personally, I wouldn't bother with the app. It's useful if you can get it to work. I have used it and it is useful because you can put it somewhere else and just dial it in and watch it on the screen. but I found it's crashing out and not connecting, disconnecting, is connecting. I couldn't be bothered, but I like the light a great deal. This is a very useful thing. Hope to see you next time. Cheers for now. Right, I'm going to put it back now. Watch how it disappears. Ta-da! Got me red blob. Cheers for now.